The words left my mouth like poison, burning on their way out, but feeling so justified at the time. I watched Amaka's face crumble, her beautiful eyes, usually so full of life, now brimming with tears. I saw her shoulders slump, her usually confident posture deflate. We were in my small Lekki Phase 1 apartment, the scent of her favorite jollof rice from earlier still lingering. Now, a cruel memory. Amaka. I started, my voice colder than I intended, a deliberate shield against the guilt already pricking me. We are just too different. Our opinions, our paths, and honestly, I need someone who takes care of themselves, physically. I saw the flicker of understanding, then pure, devastating pain cross her features. That physically was the real dagger. The 9 pounds she would put on, the weight I would been subtly complaining about for months, under the guise of health concerns, suddenly became the monstrous elephant in the room. I truly believed I was saving us both from a future of unhappiness. But looking at her, all I felt was a strange, unsettling hollowness, like a part of me was already gone. She left without another word, her hurried footsteps echoing down the stairs of my Lekki building. The door closed, and the silence that followed was deafening, a stark contrast to the usual Lagos hum outside. I slumped onto my couch, picking at the leftover jollof rice on my plate. It tasted like ash, the flavorless grains mocking my earlier conviction. My phone buzzed with a message from Kelechi, my best friend. Guy, how far? You don't do the thing? His casual query grated on my nerves. I typed back, a curt done. He replied instantly, sharp! Now you fit? Fine babe way go ginger you proper. Plenty fine girls for Lagos. His words, once a powerful influence, now echoed the shallow whispers that had been fueling my decision for weeks. Social media, the perfect bodies plastered everywhere, the subtle jabs from my guys about Amaka's new curves. I had convinced myself I was doing what a man should do, setting standards. But the pit in my stomach told a different story. The apartment, usually vibrant with Amaka's laughter, felt cold, desolate, and far too big. I turned on the TV, but the cacophony of Nollywood dialogue could not fill the void she left. Days bled into weeks, each one dragging more than the last. My routine continued braving the notorious Apapa Oworonshoki expressway traffic to work in Victoria Island, the relentless grind, occasional outings with Kelechi. But something crucial was missing. I would catch myself reaching for my phone to tell Amaka about a funny thing that happened with a crazy Danfo driver, or to share some office gist, only to remember. Her absence was not just a void, it was a constant, phantom limb ache. I would see couples at the local buka, sharing steaming plates of suya, laughing easily, and remember how Amaka's eyes would sparkle with genuine delight when she tasted her favorite grilled catfish. I even tried going to our usual spots, hoping to feel something, anything, but they were just empty echoes. The vibrant colors of the Balogun market stalls, the noisy rumble of 1,000 Okada bikes, everything seemed a shade duller, less alive, without her beside me. I tried to focus on my career, on my newfound freedom, but her ghost followed me everywhere, a constant aching reminder of what I had so carelessly thrown away for superficial reasons. One humid evening, at a trendy bar in Oniru, the thumping Afrobeat music did little to lift my spirits. Kelechi clapped me on the back, a wide grin plastered across his face. My man, you dey look good oh. See as you fresh? He gestured dramatically to a group of girls across the room, all dressed in latest fashion. This one no be like that other one wey don add weight. Abeg, move on guy, plenty fish in the ocean. His words, once seemingly comforting and validating, now grated on my nerves like sandpaper. I forced a nod, feigning interest, but my mind drifted to Amaka. I remembered her genuine support, her smart, insightful advice during tough times, the way she would listen without judgment, just offering a quiet, reassuring presence. Kelechi's advice felt cheap, hollow, like the empty calories in the small chops we were munching on. Was this what I truly wanted? A superficial connection based solely on fleeting looks? The loud music, usually a welcome distraction, became background noise to the growing unease and self-doubt gnawing at my heart. The cold beer did nothing to quench the deep thirst for something real and meaningful. Then I saw her. It was at a mutual friend's wedding reception in the sprawling compound of a lavish hotel in Ikeja GRA. The hall was buzzing with laughter and the vibrant colors of 1,000 Ankara fabrics. She was with her cousins, dancing, absolutely radiant, in a beautiful flowing blue Ankara gown. She looked amazing, not necessarily thinner, but just vibrant, a glow radiating from her. Her eyes skyrocketed with genuine joy. Her smile was wide and unburdened. A sharp pang of something hit me regret, a surprising twist of jealousy, and a deep, aching longing. I watched her from across the packed room, hidden slightly by a decorative pillar, trying to catch her eye, but she was entirely in her own world, a world I had so carelessly exiled myself from. She had not just moved on, she had bloomed, fully and beautifully, like a flower after a long rain. It struck me then, like a physical punch to the gut. My cruel, shallow words had not broken her. They had, inadvertently, set her free to truly shine. And I, the man who wanted to control her image, was left watching from the lonely shadows, consumed by a regret too heavy to bear. Later that week, feeling utterly lost, I found myself driving to Antibisis, modest but comforting bungalow in Yaba. I sought solace, though I could not bring myself to confess the full, ugly extent of my foolishness. She sat me down in her cozy living room, which smelled faintly of spice and shea butter, and gave me a plate of steaming pounded yam with rich egusi soup. She just listened, her eyes wise and knowing, as I mumbled about pressures and expectations from friends and society. Tunde, my son, she finally said, her voice soft but firm, a soothing balm and a sharp reprimand all at once. A woman's worth is not in her shape, my dear. It is in her heart, her spirit, the goodness she carries. You had a good woman in Amaka, a rare gem. Do you know how many men search their whole lives for that kind of peace, that kind of loyalty? I squirmed, unable to meet her gaze. Those pressures are from empty souls, Tunde. True love does not measure, it cherishes. You let the world tell you what to value, instead of looking with your own heart, with your own eyes. Her words cut deep, exposing the shallow, rotten foundations of my actions. Driving back through the chaotic, horn-blaring streets of Lagos, the relentless generator hum seemed to amplify the internal chaos in my head. Auntie Bice's words, Amaka's radiant, unbothered face at the wedding, it all collided, a perfect storm of regret. I was not inherently a bad person, but I had absolutely acted like one. I had been so utterly caught up in what others might think, in the superficial image I wanted to project, that I lost sight of what truly mattered, of the real treasure I held. I saw myself clearly then, under the harsh light of self-truth, a coward, hiding my own deep insecurities and lack of self-worth behind a cruel facade of standards. I had not loved Amaka for who she genuinely was, but for what I selfishly wanted her to be, a reflection of my own shallow desires. And that, I realized with a sickening lurch, was the cruelest cut of all. The truth was bitter, a difficult pill to swallow, but in that moment of raw honesty, it was also profoundly liberating. I needed to apologize, not just to her, but to myself, for letting go of something so precious, so real. I could not sleep that night, tossing and turning as the sounds of Lagos faded and then returned with the dawn. The next morning, fueled by a potent mix of desperation and a newfound resolve, I knew what I had to do. I dressed carefully, picked out the shirt Amaka always liked, and took a boat ride directly to Surulere, to her street. My heart pounded like a frantic talking drum against my ribs, each beat a drum roll for confrontation I both craved and dreaded. I rehearsed my apology 100 times in my head, each word weighed, each phrase polished. I would tell her everything, my deep-seated insecurities, the insidious pressure from friends, how much I regretted my thoughtless, damaging words. I would tell her I loved her, truly loved her, not just her appearance but her soul, her spirit. As it guided my fate, I saw her walking out of her compound, heading towards the bus stop, probably for work. She wore a simple, elegant dress, carrying a small, practical bag. She looked so composed, so resilient, so untouchable. This was it, my last, best chance to fix everything, to reclaim what I had foolishly discarded. I called her name, my voice cracking slightly. Amaka! She turned, her expression unreadable at first, a flicker of surprise, then a calm, almost serene resolve. Not anger, not sadness, just an unwavering certainty. Tunde, she said, her voice steady, surprisingly devoid of emotion. I launched into my rehearsed speech, my words tumbling out in a torrent. I poured out my heart, my profound regrets, my agonizing realization. I was foolish, Amaka, so utterly blind. I let shallow things confuse me, let other people's opinions dictate my worth. Please, can you forgive me? Can we try again? I truly love you more than anything. She listened patiently, her gaze unwavering, her hands clasped loosely in front of her. The street was bustling around us. Children's laughter, the incessant honking of Danfo buses, a KKNAPA blaring loud Fuji music. But her presence was a still powerful point in the chaos, an anchor of quiet strength. I finished, breathless, my plea hanging in the humid Lagos air, hoping against hope. When I finished, a gentle, sad yet knowing smile touched her lips. Tunde, she began, her voice soft but firm, carrying the weight of her conviction. I heard you, and I appreciate you finally seeing things clearly. It is good that you understand now. My heart leaped, a spark of hope igniting. But then she continued, her gaze direct. But those words you said to me that day, they did not just hurt my feelings. They broke something fundamental in me. You taught me that your love was conditional, Tunde, based on how well I fit your idea of perfection, based on a number on a scale. And that is a painful lesson I will not ever forget. She paused, taking a slow breath, then delivered the final crushing blow with quiet dignity. I deserve someone who sees my worth, truly sees me, not just my waistline. Someone who loves me completely, unconditionally, for who I am. I have found my peace, Tunde. A peace you cannot give me anymore. I forgive you, truly. I wish you well. But there is no going back. We are done. Her voice was gentle, almost serene, but her resolve was absolute, an unyielding wall. She turned and walked away, her back straight, head held high, without a single glance back. This time, the silence she left was not empty. It was full of her quiet strength, her unshakable self-respect, and my undeniable defeat. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, rooted to the spot, watching her disappear into the bustling Surulere crowd, swallowed by the vibrant tapestry of Lagos life. The sting of rejection was sharp, a fresh wound, but beneath it, a strange, undeniable sense of clarity settled over me. Amaka was right, absolutely right. My journey was not about getting her back anymore. It was about becoming the man who deserved her, or someone like her, someone who truly understood the depth of love and respect. I walked away from Surulere that day a different man, profoundly humbled, irrevocably changed. The Lagos sun felt warmer on my skin. The constant market sounds less jarring, more like a symphony of life. My path was not about finding a new partner immediately, but about rebuilding myself, brick by honest brick, valuing character and genuine connection above all else. I knew it would not be easy, but I finally understood what true love meant, and it had nothing to do with a number on a scale or a superficial image. It was about seeing the soul, the essence, not just the skin. And for that painful, humbling, yet ultimately liberating lesson, I will always, always be grateful to Amaka.